What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our channel. I am Natalie.
Abigail, Bear,
And Peluche. He's like, I don't talk like that. So this video is all about why we love living in our van with our dogs. We've had a lot of people ask us so many questions about what it's like, and we thought we would do a Q&A together and give you a little bit more information about traveling with dogs. Stick around, the dogs are going to get prepared. We'll answer some questions.
Starting off with the number one question that we get asked. What do we do when we need to go somewhere and the dogs aren't allowed and we have to leave them behind in the van?
We have two ceiling fans on our roof that are climate controlled, so we set both of those. One we have going in and one going out so that the air is circulating well. We also have a fan that is running right behind us in our bedroom, so we keep that on as well, as they like to be on the bed, and that keeps it super cool in here. We also make sure that we exercise them before we go anywhere. So if we're going to a brewery or having a relaxing time in the city, often we will take them with us so they can be on the patio, but if not, then they get a walk before dinner and then they are hanging out in the van. And they know that that's downtime because we keep a pretty steady routine with them. Number two, Abby, is it hard to be stealth with dogs living in a van?
We decided against going the stealth route. I mean, take a look at our van. It is quirky, full of rainbows, peace signs. I mean, it's hard for us to be stealth with or without dogs. Okay, let's be real.
Yeah.
With that said, as far as barking is concerned, as long as the curtains are up and they can't see outside, they're not going to bark. Next question. Was it hard for your dogs to adjust to van life?
It did take a little bit for them to acclimate. Obviously, they didn't quite understand going from the house we were living in into this moving vehicle, but it only took about 4 weeks for them to realize that this was their home. But we brought certain things of theirs that would help with the smells to associate, you know, with what they had at the house. So that definitely helped them acclimate. But I will say, when we first started and we were driving and taking long routes, they would definitely not be in the back of the house. They would be in the cab, both on the floor. It was the cutest thing ever. They would both just pile on top of each other. We used to take photos because it would always be a different dog puddle. But slowly we would see them. We would kind of creep back and see that Bear would get on the couch, and now they love it. Luce absolutely loves being on the bed. He loves seeing all the scenery as we're going.
He likes to look out the window as we drive. It's so cute.
Next question. Is it hard for them living in such a small space?
Absolutely not. No.
No, not even a little bit.
Both of them were crate trained from a young age, and even when they had a whole house to take a nap in, they would go in their crates to take naps.
Bear, he loved his crate, honestly. He felt safe there, so I think that this reminds them of just a larger dog bed. And honestly, they just want to be next to us. I mean, literally, this is constant. Everywhere we are.
He just wants to be touching you at all times.
Absolutely. Wherever we're at in the van, they want to be right there. Yeah. So they could care less about space.
Next question. What is it like traveling with a senior dog?
Bear he blows my mind. He just turned 13. He acts like a 2-year-old. Well, most of the time right now. He's acting his age. But whenever he knows we're going somewhere or getting ready to do a hike or coming up to a new camp, he has so much drive and excitement constantly. I mean, we used to take him on some of the longest hikes, and we'd get back and he'd still be ready to go, go, go. So he's not your typical senior dog. He's got a little bit of a limp now. He started to get a little bit of arthritis. We definitely limited how much we allow him to hike as far as length goes. We noticed that he will get a little bit tired, and he does enjoy his nap time. We also give him CBD supplements. It really helps out his joints, and I also make sure that after hikes that I give him a massage and stretch out his limbs, which he absolutely loves it. So that helps him a lot. I think if you are a little bit worried about your senior dog being able to handle van life, just make sure you know what they are capable of. And the other thing is make sure that you design your build to accommodate them.
Give them a cozy dog bed, make sure they're comfortable. I mean, it's the little things. He prefers to be on this bed because it's 6 inches of memory foam, and we let him on the bed because he's a senior and
he can do what he wants.
Yeah, he can do what he wants at this point.
But also, if you have a dog that doesn't need to be climbing, make sure you have a build with a bed down low for them, or that you install some kind of step that they can get up on. But yeah, other than that, he's got all the energy in the world. So I'm very grateful for that. Next question, how do we find a vet if needed on the road?
You got to do your research.
Make sure you have their papers on them, because
Mm.
most vets, when you're coming into a vet and you've never had them there, make sure you're traveling with your pet's information. Simple as that.
Yeah, we have a folder, a file that has all of our important paperwork, and we have a specific little folder for our dogs that has their vaccinations, their records, all of that. So it's on hand should we need it.
The other tip is that we got a year's supply in advance of their tick and flea medication before we left, just so that we knew we weren't trying to refill as often on the road. So I would also recommend that.
Next question. Do the dogs affect our travel route in any way?
Yes, they do. Not necessarily in a bad way. We chase temperate weather, so we are up north in the summer and south in the winter. It just helps with the fact that we don't have an actual AC. The fans, both on the roof and in the bed, we absolutely...
Oh, they're awesome.
We appreciate them very much, but we don't want to risk being in an area where it's, 75, 80 or above and then leaving them in the van. So we make sure we chase good weather. It also affects our hiking. There are several hikes that we wanted to do that would take a whole day, 8 to 9 hours. And so some of the hikes we have to decide against, and that's just kind of what you deal with when you decide to bring your babies along. It is a sacrifice that we absolutely are willing to take because we can't imagine van life without them.
Yeah. There's so much that you can do with them. So I feel like the pros definitely outweigh the cons as far as traveling with dogs goes, for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go back a few years. Okay, so we actually were considering backpacking through Southeast Asia, right?
Oh, yeah.
But having dogs affected that decision. We actually ended up deciding to do van life and travel via camper van because we wanted to be able to explore with our dogs, to travel with our dogs. So I think they've definitely affected our travel plans, but honestly in a really good way because this is awesome what we're doing.
Oh yeah, and they've still been to 3 countries and they're getting to see so much. Next question, what do our dogs eat and do we have trouble keeping that food consistent traveling around so much?
They eat a grain-free dry kibble. For the most part, we were able to find the same brand across the country, so that hasn't been too hard.
If we know we're going to be somewhere where we can't get the food that we readily get, then we'll do a little research and stock up. Yeah. Especially going into Mexico, we had to stock up quite a bit.
Before moving into the van, I actually was making the dog food myself. It was in a crock pot. That was awesome. I loved being able to make food for them. So we're looking into possibly doing that again in the future. We do supplement by giving them carrots for treats. Occasionally we'll give them brown rice or oats. Try to make sure their diet's versatile. And,
they eat plenty of vegetables and they have other things that we add to the dry kibble.
Next question. What is the dynamic between your dogs?
Do they get along? That's a great question. All of them are great questions. Well, before I even say anything, I think you can see their personalities coming out.
They're like brothers, really, guys. Like, they have their little moments of, like, sibling rivalry, but they love each other. They don't always cuddle together. That's a little rare, but
we made them do this.
But they're really comfortable together. They have very unique personalities. Like, for example, Bear loves to chew on sticks. Like, he loves to chase and chew on sticks,
really.
But that's it. But Luce could care less about a stick, but if you throw a ball for him, he will just run and play fetch over and over and over again. And he also loves squeaky toys. I mean, go figure.
Oh my god.
And like we said, Bear will willingly go into the water. So Bear's new favorite thing is when we're hiking and he sees like a creek or a lake or some bit of water.
Water dog.
He loves to wade in the water and drink while he's walking around in it. It's like the cutest thing.
It's the cutest thing.
They're both really good cuddlers, as you can see. Luce does get a little hot because he's got a really thick coat, so he does need his own space. Bear
also loves playing with other dogs, and so when we're not around other people or dogs, and we're like kind of out in the middle of nowhere, he's only got Luce, and Luce is not having it.
Yeah, Luce's not into play.
He will try to start initiating play. It's the cutest thing, and then so we try to amp them up, and it'll last for maybe a minute or two, and Luce just barks at him. I didn't know what their dynamic would be like when I met Abby, but it's just, I've watched it grow, and it's the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, it's really special.
Another question, would you recommend living and traveling in a van with a dog? Absolutely.
Yes, that's a definite yes.
100%.
They bring so much joy into your overall life. I mean, look at this. How can you not look at this and smile? It's the best. And they provide companionship, especially if you're a solo traveler. I think
Absolutely.
you need a dog. You need a dog. Get a dog. When you're living in a small space, I mean, you could just get a little complacent and be like, I'll just stay here and read my book or whatever. With a dog, you gotta get outside. You gotta get them a walk, so it pushes you to also get outside.
That's amazing for me, because I'm definitely the one that can be a little more complacent in certain areas. Abby has to have her exercise, which I love, but it's like I'm more the person that has to get like
Pushed into
it. And once I do, it's great.
And along with that, it keeps you in somewhat of a routine.
Yes.
Routine. It's hard, guys. It's hard to have a routine in van life. You're always changing locations. You're moving around. Like, you're not sleeping in the same place every night. But no matter what, every morning you gotta take your dogs out for a walk. You gotta feed them. Like, dogs need the routine, and it helps you as well to have a little bit of a routine. So
keeps us all sane, for sure.
Yeah. Dogs are great conversation starters. You know how many people come up to us and ask us about our dogs, about, can I pet your dog? You know, what kind of dog is that? If you want to meet people, get yourself a dog.
Yes.
And lastly, what tips would we give to anybody considering van life with a dog?
Prepare to properly exercise your dog. So if you are getting into van life and you don't plan to be doing hikes, or you're not very active, or maybe you're doing it to be able to work remotely, or maybe, you know, you're a little bit more low key, make sure you consider that before getting a dog or having a dog in your vehicle. Again, exercise is so important for them. Exercise is absolutely key. That goes along with routine.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of little practical things. We have a spill-free water bowl. So this thing is awesome. We've had it knock over and no water falls out. That is great when you're traveling, going on bumpy roads.
Or if you have a clumsy dog.
Constantly, so we would highly recommend a bowl that does not spill. We also keep their food in an airtight screw top container. We can link both of these in the description if you're interested. They are great not only for, again, dogs that try to get into the food when you're not in the van, or clumsy dogs, and also, can't stress enough, I don't care who you are, how well your rig is built, where you're at, mice will eventually be an issue in your van.
Yes.
You may not know it. Luckily, Luce is like a cat, so we know it. But that will help keep your food from getting eaten as well, having that screw top in an airtight container. Mm-hmm. One other tip, if it's super hot outside and we're going to be somewhere for a short period of time, that we leave a sign in a window that somebody can see if they're concerned, saying that we have a climate-controlled space for our animals. It's just another precaution to take, so that you don't have someone calling the cops on you.
Or breaking your window.
You know, if the dogs were to bark and somebody heard that, you know, or freak out or break your window, exactly as most people would do if they saw a dog in the vehicle, we make sure we have a sign up that lets people know that it's climate controlled and that they are absolutely fine in here. Yeah. So just a simple tip that you could use if you think that would be an issue, or you're in an area where it's a little bit hotter. Yeah, I think the only other thing that I would add about dogs in a van, we've had several people kind of shun the fact that you're traveling with dogs in such a small space, which we think is absolutely ridiculous. You know, the thing to point out is most people working a 9-to-5 or even longer jobs, they don't have the opportunity to be walking their dogs as much as we do necessarily. Or if you're in a yard, you're most likely just letting your dog out in the yard. They're not really getting to go and roam. So people that think that this is a negative for dogs blows my mind. They're living the best life that they could ever live. They are adventure dogs. We take them pretty much everywhere. And when we're not with them, it's only for a very, very short period of time. Almost 24/7, I get to be with my animal, and that's all that he's ever wanted. They've been to 3 countries. They've had all the smells. They've played with all the dogs and all the places. So
all the water they get to drink from creeks and lakes. And
so they are living the life. So don't ever feel like dogs that are living in the van life or in any kind of rig are not having a proper life. That is absolutely not true. It has been the most amazing blessing for both of them.
Yeah.
I think that's it for all the questions. Hopefully this has helped everybody that is either considering van life with dogs, or that are currently in a van with dogs. Maybe we taught you something, or the people that are just super curious about what it's like. These guys love van life. They're chilling. I wish they could have told you their side.
If you want to hear their side of the story of what a day in the life is like for a dog living in a van, check out their YouTube video.
Yes, we will link it up top, right there in the corner. Hopefully it's the corner.
You're going to want to watch this.
That's their side, not ours, okay? They wrote down what they wanted us to say for them, okay?
We've been talking about going on a walk so much. I think it's time.
Yeah, so the other cool thing is we are currently at a national park, Cuyahoga National Park in Ohio, and it is, as far as we know, we've been to over about 30 national parks at this point. It is the only one that we know of where the dogs can come on every single trail. They have 100 plus trails, and the dogs can come every single trail. That's amazing. Yeah. So we're at Cuyahoga right now. We're about to go do another trail hike, and let's show you what it's like.
Yeah.
All right, guys, take care. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe to keep up with what we're doing. Don't forget, Wednesdays I do food videos now, plant-based food videos. So if you're interested in learning about recipes and things that we are eating in the van, make sure you check those out. We'll catch you next time. Bye. We started with numbers. What question is this?
We're not doing numbers. Just say next question.
Well, we started with numbers.
Yeah,
so my
numbers. Would you recommend living in traveling in a van with a dog?
Hey, boy. What do you mean? What are you doing? He's like, get away from me. I've been in between you forever. You said that I have separation anxiety. That's a lie.
He's trying to prove you wrong right now.
See, I lied. I have to go near him because he doesn't want. He's like, please give me my space.
Hello, I get to be here. I get to be in a national park. It's so nice.